Recording. Go.
All right. Hello and welcome everybody to In the Guard, right? Your one-stop shop for all things combat sports, MMA, boxing, Hasbullah mania,
freak shows.
The only place you need to go for all your combat news. I'm Mike.
I'm Tony.
And we're going to pick it up from where we left off, right? UFC Fight Night 27, or no, Fight Night like 1 million.
Yeah.
Vegas 27.
Yeah.
Font versus Garbrandt. And it was a banger. It's a good card from start to finish.
Yeah, very good card. Exciting. It kept me engaged most of the way, and sometimes that's hard to do. I think I only stepped out to go on a beer run for maybe one fight.
We had properly placed bathroom matches, right? Fights of like we want to have that break with no action, go do what you want to. We had a couple of those right where they need to be.
Yeah.
But all the fights that we wanted to see, they delivered.
They're good fights. Starting with this one, Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, no
Main
love.
event. You know, two top contenders in that bantamweight division. That division is fucking stacked.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were going to get. We know we were going to get calm, cautious Cody. We got that for, I'd say, 4 rounds for the most part.
Right.
You know, Rob Font working behind a beautiful jab, great technician, great combos.
We knew for sure Rob Font had the hands advantage going in here. Cody might have had more power. He never got a chance to really land that power shot to really drop Font. We knew he had a wrestling advantage. We saw that early on. I don't think Cody has the discipline to fight that wrestling match, though, and keep it going. Maybe at the gas. He is coming off that crazy COVID experience. Maybe his win's not where it should be or anything like that. Or maybe it's, crazy Cody likes to just get in wars. And Font's, he calls himself the best jab in MMA, and it's hard to find anybody who has a better one.
And what is he? Is he a brown belt in jiu-jitsu? I mean, he's very competent on the ground. He's able to get back up. He was
I think that's just the pizza sauce.
Yeah, maybe. But great story as well.
Yeah.
He finds out about MMA delivering pizzas to these dudes who are doing MMA in a garage.
Yeah, and watching UFC. He's like, what's that? And he signed up at the gym on Monday.
Yeah. But I mean, I think Garbrandt, you could kind of tell, I think he was worried about his own chin in a way. Because he didn't really want to let the hands go. I think he found a lot of the success.
I don't know if he was worried about his chin. He tried to set a few traps for Font, and Font didn't fall for him.
Yeah,
he tried to press himself up against that cage like he did the Sun Sal. And Font's like, I don't want no part of that. Font fought a real smart, sharp fight. He, like I said, his hands are on point. He got up. That's a big thing. We'll talk about that later on in another fight. Takedowns are good. Takedowns are great. But the ability to get up, that's a great skill and a big challenge. He's able to get back up and get the fight to where he can get the advantage on the hands.
I think that should count for something, right? It's fucking hard to get back up.
I don't want to be too harsh on Cody either. Font played his great game. It's a 2 top 5 fighters. It was Font's night.
We don't know where Cody's at, physically, mentally. The dude's been through a lot. COVID battles, injuries. I think he had some personal issues and stuff outside of the cage as well. So, I mean, the dude's been battling after
One
battle,
question he answers is that chin, though. Because he took some bombs and he was standing at the end of the fight. So that Cody chin myth, I think we can go ahead and put that to bed.
Yeah, that beard probably helps a little bit.
For sure. It raises you five chin points.
Some of that punch,
Well, what's next for Rob? Who's he
I think he shoots definitely got to get. I'd say he probably deserves where's he at? He's not ranked. He's got
Font's number 3.
Got a 3, yeah. Cody's 4, so he's got to fight.
No, but your boyfriend gets his title fight first.
Yeah, my boyfriend gets title fight. Petr Yan.
I don't agree with that sentiment. So you say your scenario, and I'll say mine.
Yeah, I think Petr Yan fights Aljamain Sterling, obviously wins, gets the title back. And then I think the winner of Sandhagen and Dillashaw fights Petr Yan when he beats Sterling.
No.
Sterling loses
when you
and
cheat,
fights Font.
When you cheat and you take cheap shots on people, you shouldn't be rewarded with championship matches. So if Petr Yan is this big badass, like he says he is, fight the winner of TJ and Sandhagen. Whoever wins that fight will fight the winner of Font. And Font should get the title shot.
However you slice it, Jan's the champ before the end of 2021.
No, I don't think so. I think he doesn't run through either TJ.
He does like to knee people when they're down. He was throwing jabs at Garbrandt.
I don't think he maybe beats Sandhagen, but if he got in a cage with TJ, I don't think he stands a fucking chance.
I think TJ's behind all of them.
No way. You forgot who that man is. He's had 2 years to rest up and heal and get better. Trust me. Don't forget about TJ Dillashaw.
He's been working that smoothie bar, my dude.
I'm telling you.
He's got kids.
TJ Dillashaw is still. That's gonna be a tough fight for Corey. That's not a layup for him. That's not a guaranteed win for him. And I love Corey Sandhagen. I want when it's all said and done, I want Sandhagen to be the guy with the championship title. That's who I want to be the champion leaving this year. So that being said, I don't think that TJ is a guaranteed win for him. I don't think he walks out of there for certain.
If you're making me predict right now, I think you see Petr Yan beat Sterling, you see Sandhagen beat Dillashaw, and those two fight at the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022. I see Yan versus Sandhagen, and that's what I want to see the most. And I think Dillashaw maybe falls somewhere in there, fights Font.
I think Yan should have to earn himself another title fight.
I mean, I like to watch him fight. So
I don't think he deserved the first one he got to begin with. He just kind of got handed a title opportunity because people left the division. TJ got suspended, Cejudo retired, and he said, "Oh, here, you can be the champion and fight Aldo."
Yeah, well, what happens when you cheat? I mean, you take steroids.
And you can fight Aldo. You can fight Aldo, who's never even fought in this division before. So who did he like? Did he ever deserve to be there? So again, fuck Jan.
What does Cody do? I mean, he's
I know where Cody goes.
1-5 right now.
I know exactly where Cody goes. It's a fight that we got robbed of later last year, and he goes and fights Figueiredo after he beats Shadow Moreno again. Moreno doesn't stand a chance in the rematch. We'll talk about that when that comes around too.
Yeah, what would be the point of selling that? Cody goes down. He's won 1 out of his last 4 and goes down and fights for the flyweight
It's kind of the
title?
same way when Aldo went down and lost all those fights at featherweight and he got a title shot at 135. It's a bigger name. There's nobody at 125 that's going to put on a marquee.
Comes back in the mix.
Cejudo wants
135.
Right? He wants, and if he comes
he's
back,
talking 145.
And if he comes back, go way to the back of the fucking line, Peter Yan. Go way to the back.
If
of the line.
Cejudo comes back,
he's the guy that gets that shot
for sure.
But going down to 125, there's some good up and coming guys there. They're starting to get some depth in that division, but there is nobody after Moreno that's ready to go for that title. You could try to say the winner of Formiga versus Royval. That could definitely be in that championship picture. But what's going to Pantoja. I'm sorry. Pantoja. You're right. My mistake. But yeah, that winner of that Royval and Pantoja fight. Yeah. But that going to sell any pay-per-views? That's got to be a co-main. That can't. If you can have Cody and Figueiredo be a main event, sell a pay-per-view for sure. And that fight was supposed to happen. We got robbed of that fight.
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts on maybe Cody's getting cut here?
No. He's still really young. No. He's got losses, but he's fighting the best in the world every time he fights.
Maybe this fight probably told him a lot about himself, that he can go out there and bang if he wants to, maybe smartly. And I think this next fight he's going to prove a point. Every fight's next.
And it was a clear loss, but it wasn't like he didn't look like he belonged in that cage. And again, Rob Font, top 3 guy in the world in that division. Of maybe top 5 if you want to stretch in like Archuleta and Pettis and all of them for sure, or Magomed, who I think might be the best 135er in the world. He's pretty fucking awesome. If you ever watch Bellator, watch it when Magomed fights his fight, because that guy is a fucking machine. He has a win over Peter Yan, the only one. Yeah, the only one that officially beat. And Aljo. Read the books. Read the history. The winners write the history. All right.
All right, next fight.
All right, co-main Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza, Yan Xiaonan.
One of my big upset picks that came through last night. The Cookie Monster, we knew she had the wrestling pedigree. And also, personally, I looked at her, her resume, and she's fought all the top strikers, right? No. She's had the Joannas, the Roses. She's been in there with everyone that could throw those bombs. She even beat Marina Rodriguez. Like, she's been in there with all those top strikers, whether that Storm is able to wrestle them down to the ground. So what was Yan going to do to beat her?
But it was just interesting, going back, I was watching her previous fights, Yan Xiaonan, and she showed somewhat of competent takedown defense. Like
versus who?
Claudia Gadelha, Angela Hill, which aren't like the greatest grapplers.
Angela Hill, you can throw that away.
So I mean,
she's not.
But she was able to at least get it back to the feet, and her cardio was good. But fuck, she could not get
someone
off
that's
her
been
back.
wrestling since she's been a teenager. She's been wrestling her whole, almost her whole life. The first ever champion in that division. She's already has a win against the champion. I think they're kind of hesitant because I don't think that's a sexy matchup for sure. But I can't argue against her getting that next championship opportunity.
No, she absolutely should fight. She should fight Thug Rose again, the rematch. She owns a split decision victory over. And it's the great thing about the Esparza match was it wasn't her typical kind of lay and pray type thing. She beat the brakes.
We were talking. We were watching in separate houses, but we were texting back and forth. And that first round, I was like, crucifix warning. And then sure enough, because she went for it for a couple times in that first exchange in round 1, couldn't really lock it in, but she did slice her open. I was like, oh, here we go. And then that second round, she locked it in.
Hasn't been looking good for the Chinese athletes, though. They need to get some cards over there in China or something. It's 15-hour time difference fucking ain't doing too good for these folks. I think they've won 1 out of their last, 9 or 10 fights?
Well, it's also the Chinese independent circuit. We'll talk about another fight later on in the card. You watch these people, they look really, really good. They're beating the hell out of these guys down there and these women down there, and they're building up that false 20-1. And then we see them come out in UFC 61, they all get beat. Yeah. We see 2 go down in this fight as well. So that under, their lower level, they're trying to gas these people up.
It's got to be like they're not mixing everything together or something. Like
it's all striking.
Yeah, they lack the grappling aspect.
They have none of it for sure. And if crowd noise can distract you that much, they're really not mentally strong.
Yeah. I just think they have a lot to adjust to with the travel, right? Their diets, their cultures are totally different. I mean, I wonder if the travel has something to do with it.
You got the guys from Australia coming over, from Hawaii coming over. Those are long
fucking
fights.
Andrade went over there to defend her belt against Wei Li. Wei Li beat the brakes off of her in Beijing.
Well,
I mean, there's obviously a story behind all that too.
Andrade should never had that title. She was losing the Bros, right? And then those just want to hold on to that Kimura for some reason and get lucky slams. So
I still think that was just kind of a one-off thing. That was the exception, not the rule.
That was that night it worked out. So again, this shows that the Chinese MMA scene needs to catch up. They're like a step behind England, who's kind of a step behind everyone else.
Yeah. All right, let's keep rolling.
This is one of those. Oh no, this was the fight of the night.
Fight.
This was my favorite fight of the night. It won fight of the night. Yeah. Heavyweights going at it. Jared Vanderaa versus the bad man Justin Tafa, and these two motherfuckers stood there and banged. Worked at a crazy pace for heavyweights, and there wasn't a dull moment in the fight.
Vanderaa, man, I was so impressed. Like you said, I was concerned. I'm like, this guy's probably one of the worst heavyweights I've seen in a while. But I think he did have a very tough. Debut. He called out Spivak, way to call out middle of the pack.
Fucking monster.
But Vanderaa, man, you got to finish that motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, he's a big, tough dude. It kind of shows what Spivak is, how he's able to get him down.
Yeah.
Jared Vanderaa doesn't really like to show it, but he does have a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's a big dude. He was bigger than Spivak too. Yeah. Had the reach advantage, and we know Justin Tafa what he is. He's right, the poor man's Bam Bam, the poor man's Mark Hung. I want to sit there. I can bang with you, right? I can knock you out, but I take punches. He takes beatings to give. He takes one to give one.
You could tell that first round when Vanderaa hit him with that first jab.
Yeah,
that Tafa was like, I'm in over my head. And he didn't fight the same since.
I was on Vanderaa in this fight. I picked him to win because of that big reach advantage. I knew this fight, if it stayed on the feet, Vanderaa had a big reach advantage in that matchup. And if it did go to the ground, Tafa has zero ground game, no work off his back, and definitely doesn't have that back belt in his back pocket. So I thought it would end up being in the second round or so. Vanderaa would get him down and kind of, because he doesn't have one punch knockout power. He's got good hands. He's got good.
He hits hard.
He's sharp, but he's more of, I'm gonna a battle of a million cuts. I'm gonna take you out one punch at a time rather than one big punch.
But I think one thing you saw though too coming out of Vanderaa was a lot of leg kicks for a heavyweight. Yeah, and he stayed busy
and tough.
Yeah, and his fucking cardio.
Because even when he had in the second round, Tafa against the fence, Tafa was throwing some elbows back, sliced him open, had that big cut. I mean, he had the biggest cut in the match. Actually, it wasn't that big. But afterwards, you look, it wasn't that big. It was just bleeding a lot. Yeah. But and he still kept coming forward, could take some punches. And again, it's still early in his career. His first fight, he lost off the Contender Series. Again, gave him a very, very tough opening match to get with. Tafa more speed. I like to see. I don't know if he has a fight booked or not. I could be wrong, but Carlos Felipe and Jared Vanderaa.
Carlos Felipe is fighting. He's fighting somebody coming up. Augusto Sakai, maybe? No. Sakai's fighting Rosenstruik.
Right.
Who is Felipe fighting? He's got a fight booked. I can't remember who it's with. But
if he wins that fight for sure, or maybe the winner of that fight then. But I think after this fight, Felipe and Vanderaa will be a fun fight.
Yeah. I think Tafa might get cut. Be on the lookout.
Tafa versus Lima. Oof. This was the bathroom break we were all talking about. The Phenom Felicia Spencer versus the Mortal Norma Dumont Viana. They don't seem to use that Viana anywhere but this website.
Yeah.
Close back and forth fight. I was high on Felicia Spencer because of who she had been in the cage with. Not only, lasting 5 rounds with Amanda Nunes and Cyborg, she has a win over Megan Anderson,
she seemed to be the naturally bigger girl going into the fight.
Right, and she's tough as nails. Still, she could take some punches, take some shots, and keep coming forward. Norma Dumont, big fucking chicken. I mean muscular big. Her shoulders are gigantic. She's fucking talking about going down to fucking.
Well, she missed
bantam.
weight, right? That first round, I think she came in at 138.
Yeah, she's
first
big.
Time she tried.
She's big as fuck, and not in a bad way. She's muscular as hell. To get that weight up,
her
be
lower
tough.
body is just fucking jacked.
I was high on Spencer also too because this is, Dumont was a last second replacement, and she flat out said she's taking this fight because her gym needs money. So like, what was your camp like? What kind of shape are you in? Is it just a desperation cash grab? I know they all fight for money, but that can't be like, oh yeah, I'll take this fight. Yeah. But Spencer just didn't do enough. I had her winning rounds 1 and 3. Shock. I disagree with the judge's decision, but it wasn't like it was going away that she deserved to win that fight.
Yeah, I saw it split decision for Dumont, but I think one of the judges gave it 30-27 for Dumont. And I was like, well, okay, no, it's 29-28. You could go either way with it. I thought Dumont did more with her crisp boxing. Spencer landed shots. Yeah, she couldn't get the fight to the ground. Dumont took her down a few times. So,
what are judges looking for?
Each one's different. They proved that last night.
What are judges looking for?
You saw some people that in split decisions. One guy 30-27 Dumont. There was another one, 30-27 for somebody else.
Yeah.
And another judge gave the other fighter the fight.
Right.
It's like, you guys are judging off two totally different criterias.
It's ridiculous.
So let's get on the same page.
Or let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of him.
Mike's Fight League. Stay tuned.
KO, sub, or draw. That's it. You get 5-minute rounds, 1 minute rest in between, just like it is right now. But again, if nobody gets finished, that's a draw. Because these judges don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. Unless it's like a clear victory, like say like the font, like everyone knew. I mean, there's still a questionable judge that gave me that 48-47.
They gave what? Paul Felder that fight against
against
RDA.
RDA. So there's some bad fight. And then what was the other one? Grundy. Just last week.
Yeah.
I pretty much every fucking card you can go, oh, what the fuck were they thinking right there? It's good for us to argue. So I guess we don't want to give them that much for.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they start to cut that fucking division. Another
fight.
Another good fight. You could have saw this one either way too, right? Depending on what you like.
Perfecto.
Speaking of Perfecto, Bill Aljo versus Ricardo Ramos, one of the last guys in Alpha Male, right? One of the last ones left.
Is he?
Yeah. Still he's young for how many fights he has. I think he's only under like 28, 27 years old, and he's had a lot of fights.
It's like
already.
Kevin Gastelum kind of.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fights in young. Already 17 fights. But he obviously had a game plan, typical alpha male, right? We're going to wrestle this to the mat. We're going to try to keep him down, hold him down. He could not hold Aljo down, and every time Aljo got up to his feet, he was piecing him up. It was one-sided.
Yeah, Aljo was definitely winning the fight on the feet. I mean, I'd say Ramos hit him with a few good shots, but I mean, I think it was all the takedowns, right? He had 5 in the fucking first round.
Right, and they had only 8 total.
Yeah.
And the judges really, really favored those takedowns. But I kind of tweeted this out during the card, got a couple likes for it. But they overvalue the takedown if you're not doing nothing with it, for one. And two, if that guy's able to get right back up, he gets credit for getting up, doesn't he? Like, it's just as hard to get off of the ground after a takedown as it is to take somebody down. And if you're getting up 8 times, because the fight ended on the feet, right? Yeah. He never held him down once, never ended around on his feet. What is Fight Metrics or ESPN or whatever who does it? Like, if you don't hold them down and solidify the takedown, it doesn't even count. Right. Like, you should have to hold them down for 4 or 5 seconds. Or you should take them down and pass to a dominant position. But you can also see, too, just as a person watching a fight, if it's just always a fluid motion and a scramble, yeah, I got you down, but I didn't, like, hit you when I was down there. I didn't improve my position. I didn't sweep. I didn't pass guard. I didn't do any of that stuff. Yeah. You got back to your feet before I got anything off. Well, it's like that's a wash. There was moments where I thought Xiaonan was winning against Esparza. Esparza had her down in dominant position, but Xiaonan was like elbowing the shit out of her, punching her, trying to work. Ultimately, Esparza, like the Kuniskaya argument we talked about. Yeah. She advanced position and beat the brakes off of her. Right. But Ramos didn't do any of that. No, right? And he couldn't hold down Aljo for anything. He got 8 takedowns, means you couldn't hold that guy down. I talk about with Mirab all the time. Mirab's great at getting you down, but he can't keep you down. So I mean, not a robbery or anything like that. I think Ramos deserved the win, depending on what you're looking for, and Aljo deserved the win. It's more of like, what are we looking at here? Yeah, right? I think we just all need to get on the same road. Right. Get on the same page. Like they did some stuff that they don't acknowledge is how hard it is to work. I think some of these fucking MMA judges go in there, get taken down, and get up. Yeah. Let me take you down and get up. Let's see how you hard that. Unless shit there's is. Something done with the takedown, there's an advance of position. There's strikes thrown from the top. Right. It's null. Right. If the guy gets back up and he clinches him against the cage, you almost should be like, if you're just clinching against the cage like that shit's what bugs me the most. Not so much even the takedown, but like clinching against the cage drives me insane. Right, and that's the problem. I guess that's the curse of MMA. Like, there's so many different aspects you're throwing in. Like, you can't erase one of them. I guess. Well, there's so much strategy because, like, if you're in the fight, right, you're finding spots to rest. Like when we grapple, like, okay, I just passed. I need to fucking catch my breath real quick. Well, but or whatever. But also too, when we're grappling, we know we're grappling. So if I were to throw a forearm, oh wait a minute, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. In MMA, it's all legal. It's all go. So if I'm wrestling you down in boxing, if I were to grab you, we can break you apart because you can't grab each other and hold each other down. There's no grappling in boxing. You can't really do that in MMA. Where do you draw that line? Yeah. It's hard. But then again, I just think judges need to realize how hard it fucking is to get up after somebody takes you down. Mm-hmm. If you get up that many times, those takedowns kind of get washed away, I think. But again, Ramos fought a hard fight. I actually picked him to win the fight. I just needed Aljo to win for fucking DraftKings. But again, it was a good close fight and a fun one to watch for sure.
All right, let's go to the first card.
Maybe
of the
my
main card.
second favorite fight of the night.
This is a really, really good. The tale of beginning and endings, right?
This is a fucking great fight.
We had the Golden Boy Edmund Shabazian versus the Joker Jack Hermanson coming back off the wicked battle with COVID.
Yep.
And the first round, it looked like he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, looking a little scruffy, but later to come find out, he intentionally is growing out the curls to be a part of, the Chase Hooper and
the Askren family.
Askren family there, call it the curl. I don't even know what you want to call that, but
first round, Edmund dominated this fight.
Yeah, he's
that fight. It was 10-9, clearly him. Hermanson looked weathered. He looked tired. He looked like he was not the same guy that we've seen in the last few fights.
He fucking hit a second gear.
And we kind of talked about it before the fight started that, it's Edmund early, but the further this fight goes, the more it goes to Hermanson. And that's exactly what happened. It was like a new man in round 2.
Hermanson's just very well rounded. And almost like that first round, like he's like, okay, I'm going to eat some shots. I'm going to go high guard, let this guy kind of get tired. Survives the first round.
See, but round 2, you could argue that Edmund won that round too. That was a really, because he ended on top. He almost ended in a finishing position.
But then it's like you were saying it, like that end of that third round, he beat the fuck out of him.
There was no question.
He tried to kill him in the last 15 seconds.
And that's kind of like the one FC style that they judge it over the full fight, right? There's not round by round. They judge it over the full fight. But again, at the end of round 2, Hermanson was in control most of it. Shabazian, flips it over, and he ends up almost to ground and pound as time expires in the round. But Hermanson, there was no question around.
Shabazian was wearing it.
No question around.
He was wearing it. He looked like he
got the shit beat out of him in round 3.
Hermanson's like, yeah, I'm good.
Which is, I think the judges did choose the right person this one. Hermanson got
Jack
that fight for
hands
sure.
Down, yeah.
For sure.
And that's a good fight. It's fun.
And that's where you really the 10-9 scoring system kind of goes, it's kind of fucked up.
Definitely a 10-8 in the second.
When it comes to Shabazian, I think he's just really young, man.
I think he needs some tune-up fights.
He's just really young. He's
pushing him too fast.
He's 23 years old, fighting top 10 guys.
And he's not well-rounded enough.
No. Although his grappling did look a lot better yesterday. Yeah. He's lost to a guy who's better at it.
And I feel like maybe he is in kind of one of those divisions that he can be kind of fast-tracked because the middleweight doesn't have a ton of depth. But at the same time, you're messing with those guys in the top 10.
Yeah.
Well, he is 10th, but like those guys in the top, 7.
Where I won the fight.
I think it'd be a good fight for him and Darren Till. Will probably be a good fight.
I want Kevin Holland.
Or Kevin Holland. Yeah.
Let's go, Kevin
Holland's not going to take it to the ground. So
they're both going to. They're both being their strength.
Fight.
I wanted Strickland and Holland, but Strickland's fighting Uriah Hall, so that's booked. So let's go, Kevin Holland, Edmund Shabazian.
Yeah.
And the Joker said he wants to kind of sit back, see how it folds out. We got Till versus Cannonier, right?
Yeah, and I think Akhmedov is actually fighting Tavares, maybe. Akhmedov's fighting somebody.
I think Jack gets the winner of Till and Cannonier. Or no, it's Cannonier.
Till's fighting Brunson. Cannonier's fighting
I got them mixed up. I got Cannonier and Brunson.
Costa's fighting Cannonier.
Costa versus Cannonier. So yeah, the Till and Brunson winner. The Till and Brunson winner. Give him the Jack.
Yeah. That's what he was saying. He's like, yeah.
He's still he needs one more win before he gets another championship opportunity for sure. Yeah. And that's going to wrap up the main card.
Yeah. Undercard.
Fun one.
Old man Rothwell.
The Beast Boy. You don't see it too often. A man have dreads and a bald spot.
Yeah. I mean, but
Lennox Lewis a little bit.
But he took him off. Hey, I know the pain, guys. Sometimes you just gotta take it off. Just adapt to your time. Get a good hat collection.
Yeah.
The classic, the veteran, the almost borderline legend, right? Ben Rothwell's fought with everybody. Yeah. Had some battles. Always been kind of just outside that championship picture, but he's always, always been a tough fighter. Can beat you in multiple ways. Versus Chris, the Beast Boy Barnett, making his debut on short notice.
Long time coming, huh?
He's fun. It's fun. He's out there.
He needs somebody more around his size, though. Like he's
not a heavyweight.
Yeah, no, he's a light heavyweight middleweight.
He's a light heavyweight middleweight who likes his biscuits.
His Popeyes fried chicken.
Whatever his favorite vice is. He likes to smash a lot of it. And he looked good, though, in the first round. Yeah, he went back and forth with a guy who's been in there with all the best fighters in the world. But you can kind of see that Rothwell was biding his time. He's being the smart, being the veteran, letting Barnett gas himself out. And I think that's really what the game plan was. That, Rothwell knew it.
Flashy shit.
Eventually, he's going to wear himself out. He's got to try to get me with a flash KO. If not, I'm either going to tap him or I'm going to knock him out. And he got that go-go choke. It was not a guillotine. No. It was a go-go choke, very similar to an Ezekiel guillotine combination, kind of way you want to put it.
It's like a hybrid.
It's a special, straight from Schaumburg, Illinois. They teach it out there. Big Ben got a big win. Finally got a fight. That's good. Props to Barnett. Took it on short notice, got in there with a legend, and held his own. He did hold his own for what it lasted.
It was a fun, weird fight.
Right.
It was entertaining.
Really entertaining. And then Ben going forward, maybe get him one of those top 10 type of guys. The Walt Harris.
He probably could hang with
the Walt Harris. He just fought Tabor, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost. Yeah.
By decision though, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
it
it was
like
decision.
almost a do nothing fight?
He beat him pretty decisively. Yeah.
But it wasn't like there was no like. Or you know what would be a good fight for him? Tommy Aspinall. It'd be a good fight for Aspinall.
Why not?
Aspinall can get that, another big name under his belt and kind of move up in that, because we want to build it to eventually being Dawkins versus Aspinall in a title eliminator, right? That's where we wanted to get, and especially without Jones probably never fighting again. We'll talk about that, right?
Yeah, right. Dana doesn't see it in the future.
Yeah, Barnett goes back to wherever he was.
Yeah.
Again, thanks for coming in. Again, you're a fun
Thanks
fighter.
for keeping the card alive.
But again, you're just at his height. There's no way he's gonna compete at heavyweight.
No.
This is another one of the bathroom breaks.
Yeah, this one wasn't two older dudes, but Court McGree, obviously the more well-rounded MMA fighter, had some motivation from a 70-year-old neighbor saying, go in there, be the crusher. That motivated him, his new son. That was kind of the story behind this. I mean, Silva has one route to victory. Take it down and submit.
He almost got that heel hook at one point.
He almost did, but...
There's really nothing to talk about in this
No.
fight. Everybody, this Court
Swipe.
McGee was laying, praying, blinking, and
Let's swipe right.
And neither one of those guys are going to factor
Here's
in
another
shit.
one. We got Victor Rodriguez.
Victor
out of
Rodriguez is
Alaska.
my new favorite fighter because he always gives me a great KO highlight. I joke around the Giannis head kick when he's kind of that little light jog to the right of the cage, and Giannis just kicks him right in the fucking face, and it looks like a bug hitting the windshield. It's like one of my favorite highlights.
Well, I think he kind of got the short end of the stick here, though. Like, he had another opponent, right, before Silva, and he wasn't probably as vicious as Silva. And Silva's like, hey, I just got a new contract. I got some time. I'll step in. He's probably like, oh, fuck me.
Bruno Silva, though, is
The
a
Bulldog.
factor.
Yeah, he's fucking
He's
legit.
always had the grappling. Now he's putting motherfuckers to sleep.
Well, he lost like close fights in his first two to, who, like those two guys, was it Imavov and somebody else? So he had two tough losses in his first two debut fights. Two
But at
tough debut
flyweight,
fights. Yeah.
He's got knockout power. And
Yeah.
there's not too many of those guys in flyweight. They have that knockout. Ulanbekov.
He lost
And
Ulanbekov
Dvorak.
and Dvorak. Who Dvorak looks, he's all
And it was a
worth the
decision
hype.
loss. Both decision
Yeah.
losses, too. But he spoiled the party for JP. And he started off the bad night for the Bias family.
Yep.
And then just fucking, he
Last
did what he was
Victor.
supposed to do yesterday, and he put Victor Rodriguez, veteran alum of Alaska FC that we always like to pick on, or at least I like to
Silver
pick on.
calls out Bontaron. I think that'd be a banger. Why not?
Right, yeah,
let's
let's
do
go.
it.
That's
and
it,
I think
let's go.
Rodriguez is cut.
No, he's gonna fight somebody else. he's gonna be.
I mean, in the era of COVID, you always need somebody to step up.
right. He's gonna get kicked in the fucking head again, and
I hope
that's
not.
his job. What do you do? I get kicked in the fucking face.
I hope not.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Moving
next
on.
fight, kind of
David
another-
Borja versus Juan, Camilla, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey took this fight. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I'm ahead of schedule.
Yeah, you're on
Kulabao versus, this is what I'm talking about, Shai Lian. I thought his name was Shay Lian. All of a sudden, this Nur and the Bekdi name came out of nowhere.
What?
Exactly. How do you say that?
Nerd and Biek.
Were those talking words? I guess not required.
Well, it's not English, so I'm not. I'm trying to put some accent on it. But for all week, his name was Shai Lian. Right? All week, that's all I saw. SHA and then Gilan. And all of a sudden, this name, I was like, who the fuck is this guy now? I thought a fight got canceled. Like, where did this come from? But anyway, I had one path to victory, right? All this guy wanted to do was grapple versus Josh Kuya Kulabao, who is kind of slick on his feet. Had a good fight with Charles Jourdain, who's a talented fighter,
I mean,
and was a big time favorite
the most
coming in
exciting
here.
part of this fight was the shit talk from the stool in between the rounds, where Kulabao's like, "Yeah, I'm not so small now, am I?"
Yeah.
Because I guess Shai Lan's coming down from 155 to fight at 145, saying I'm going to be much bigger. And
The Chinese Drago.
I mean, he does look a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He looked like he was like created in a lab to go
Dude,
beat
he's
people up.
Yeah, he's at the Chinese laboratories over there, man. Creating all
We don't
kind
want
of
to talk
shit.
about Chinese
Creating all
labs, all
kind
right?
of shit.
We don't need to get flagged, all right? You said Chinese lab. Now that's it. Luckily, we're not monetized yet. But he was a strong grappler. Really couldn't do much else. And again, he looked great on the Chinese circuit. The only good competition he fought over there was Rong Zhu, who we saw in UFC 61, who is pretty talented. I actually think he has a future. He's a little bit young, still like 23.
He
trying
lost
to work
that last fight, though, didn't he?
by decision,
Yeah.
but he
He's
kind
slow.
of
He's a slow, yeah.
He's a slow starter and kind of arrogant with it, not really getting it, playing with it. But I think he does have potential.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to say the name again. Shai Lian. We're gonna say that one. I don't see him coming back to the UFC. Kulibao is okay, but he made him look like he was a world beater yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, let's just
Keep it going. Keep it going. We got Double D here.
This
Not the kind that you might
Yeah.
like, but I mean, you might like this too.
Of double D's. It's
not
yeah,
Dunkin'
he's got
Donuts. What,
concave
get your
chest
mind
if his
out of the
name's
gutter,
Double
bro.
D. Versus Ronda Rousey, who came in on the last second notice, right? It was Paiva, who got last second had a bad weight cut,
Dude, what
ended up in
an
the
awesome
hospital.
nickname. I didn't even know that was his nickname.
Yeah, the Undertaker.
Undertaker.
Dvorak. So again, last second notice. Ronda. The fact that you can even make 125 on last second notice is pretty fucking awesome in itself.
Yeah.
But he
you know
was
what the
just
worst part about
outclassed.
that was? They find the poor dude. They gave him a fucking day and
Yeah.
10 hours, and they fucking
And he
find
missed
him.
by 3 pounds, right? Or something like that. It was
like,
nothing.
come on, man.
So again, he got in there, and Dvorak, top 10 fighter in that division, a guy up and comer. Did what he's supposed to do. And got that single arm. That was a single arm rear naked. What's his name did in 261, or was not a single arm rear naked? Randy Brown,
he
was
climbed
it?
it behind the shoulder.
Yeah,
and
that was a single
Adam's
arm
family
rear
did.
naked. Got the tap early in the fight. And thank you for coming. Again, this is the only way this fight was going to go. There's no way.
I mean, Juan Camilo, he made it a fight the first 40 seconds.
You got some
he looked like he was
cauliflower ear.
He's like he was meant to be there for 40 seconds of the
You got
fight.
them Gollum ears. And then the kickoff. This was your punishment for missing a record weight cut. Those of you who don't know, Rafael Alves versus Damir Ismagulov. I can say Ismagulov.
Speaking of labs, he's in the Brazilian.
Rafael Alves was the guy who missed weight class by 2 weight classes last year. Remember, like 13 and a half pounds and said it was tiramisu.
Yeah.
He says too much tiramisu. So
He's huge,
your
man.
reward for that is to move up to lightweight and fight a man who many thought was on a fast track for the world title before a couple years ago. He got injuries and all kinds of stuff, kind of derailed him. A 21-1 fighter who's good in all levels.
Yeah.
Very
Very
here's your
well-rounded.
reward for missing weight by that much. That being said, Alves didn't look terrible early.
He's got those fast twitch muscles, that's
Right.
for sure. He came out of the gates hot. He rocked his Magulov, dropped him,
Right.
got on top of him, shot it for a guillotine, was on his back.
And then it was over.
Yeah,
From that point on, it was all Ismagulov.
That was his moment.
He came out like a bull, bull in the China shop, and the China shop won. Ismagulov is sharp everywhere. Again, I can see the potential why people liked him so much.
Mm-hmm.
He can beat you. He can press it against the cage. He can get up off the ground, right? He can fight submissions, and his striking is crisp. He's everything that, what's his name?
Well, he's fighting out of, where is it? Is it not Kyrgyzstan?
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan.
What's
He's a
the
pretty
other
good fighter.
Kazakhstan
There's
fighter?
a few others. There's
the kickboxing guy who doesn't want nothing to do with grappling. We're always making fun of him. Fuck. I can't
talking
remember.
about the chick?
No, dude.
Because there's a chick. What's the chick that got beat by Shayna Dobson?
Who wants no part of grappling.
Agapova's from there.
He
There's two
fought
other
recently
ones.
too.
Yeah, he lost that fight.
Right. He loses.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
Was it
think of his name.
Paiva fought him? But anyway, he's like everything that guy wants to be. He has a good striking, but he can actually fight off grappling. He can get at his feet, and again, he will be a factor in that lightweight division. A good fight I'd like to see is him and Fiziev.
I think Fiziev gets higher than this though. Like,
I don't know. He's 22-1.
does Fiziev have a fight booked?
He does not. He's trying to get a fight booked. Nobody wants to fight him, and he's not
I
ranked.
can't imagine why not.
And he's not ranked.
Fucking
These are
dude's a
two
monster.
non-ranked. These are two guys that should be ranked.
Yeah.
I like to see that fight.
Yeah.
And Alves,
He's from over that way too,
lay out the
somewhere, right?
tiramisu.
Kazakhstan or something. But he's like the head coach at Tiger Muay Thai in
Muay Thai,
Phuket.
yeah.
Well, that wraps
Fun card for the most part.
Yeah, from start
Vegas
to finish.
27, right?
Right. So let's get into the fun stuff, right?
Well,
Nope.
let's go through our whiskey. And
That's what I'm
wagers.
talking about. The
Mike-
whole reason
Mike
we
had a
watched
good
the
night.
fight.
He's been waiting
I had
for
a
this.
solid night. I didn't have a great night, but I left with more money than I came.
The first four
so
fights, he already
take that.
doubled
We'll
his
start with
wins.
the DraftKings first. Going through our 9K rankings. I had Bruno Silva at the top, which he was the highest scoring. I went with Damir Ismagulov as my second. He ended up being the third highest. Rothwell being the third highest, and he was, again, we should have flipped those two. I had Tafa as my fourth highest. He had lost the fight, so obviously he was the lowest scoring one. And then I had Kulabau as my lowest projected, and it kind of worked out that way because even with the win, he only scored 58 points.
Yeah.
So the only difference between him and Tafa was that Tafa lost the fight and Kulabau
We were
won.
pretty similar, weren't we? Had Silva at the top.
You liked Kulabau a little bit more. He had Kulabau as the second highest
I?
scoring one. Tafa down at 4. We were the same. You had Rothwell being the lowest scoring one.
Ooh, wow.
But we both had Silva at the top. We all knew Silva was going to put fucking Victor Rodriguez to sleep. When we're breaking down these 9K rankings, again, especially with 9K, you want to think this person's going to win, right? You definitely want them to win. They got to win big. You want to try to get back at least 10 times what they got. So if a guy's $9,000 in DraftKings, you want to try to get at least 90 points from
And
that
you
guy,
gotta think
if
about
not more.
What type of fight are they going to fight too? How much volume do they throw? Do they grapple? Can they finish it quick?
Right.
Who's their opponent? How tough is their opponent?
So when I am doing my rankings, and I'm sure Tony does this too, I think about that factor, what type of fights this is going to be, where is this fight going to take place? Does it favor that person's style? Does that underdog have a shot to really knock them off? Like, what's their percentage of winning? And you try to do all those factors together. So that's why I put a guy like Damir Ismagulov second, even though I knew if Rothwell won, he would have scored more points. At heavyweight MMA, you never fucking know. It takes one shot. And I was pretty much certain that Ismagulov was going to win that fight. I was pretty much a lock. My 2 locks of the night were Damir and Silva. I knew they were going to win, so that's why I had them 1 and 2, and I kind of adjusted the rest accordingly to that. Coming to our value, I was big high on Yancy Medeiros, who actually got canceled his last minute there. Somebody in his fight camp got COVID, so that fight got thrown away. My second highest ended up being the highest scorer of the night in Carla Esparza, getting over 137 points. My third was Cody Garbrandt, who, so even though lost, scored almost 50 points, which is a good one to have. Edmund Shabazian, again, an underdog I thought had a shot to win the fight, and if he did, it would have been a quick early knockout. He only scored 24 because he didn't get that quick early knockout. And then at fifth, I had Ricardo Ramos, who ended up winning the fight and scored almost 100 points, who was in the optimal lineup at the end of it. Tony had Garbrandt at number 1, Edmund at number 2, Esparza as his third. So we both were on those 3 because we knew those are veterans. They're underdogs that could win that fight going in there. We changed it around. He had Jared Vandera, who also was part of the optimal lineup. And he also had the Yancy fight got canceled. My sports book wasn't as good as far as my official bets. I won a couple of props that actually kind of canceled it out. But what I told you to bet did not turn out, so you probably hate me a little bit more. I had Felicia Spencer, basically. I thought she was going to win, and I thought she was going to sub-finish at some point. I thought she was going to grapple Dumont to the ground. She had been in there with the best of the best, right? She had a win over Megan Anderson. She could not get finished by Cyborg or Nunes, so I figured there's no way she's going to get finished. She's a better fighter, had a better competition, and Viana was on short notice. It was a tight fight. It could have went her way if one other judge was on the seat. If a different judge saw it a different way, it was a split decision, and that kind of ruined it all for me on there. But again, DraftKings was where I really made my dough yesterday. My best lineup was 644 with Font, Esparza, Vandera, Court McGee, Bruno Silva, and Ismagulov. Unfortunately, I had that in
was perfect, right? You were 6 for 6 on that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, that was in the quarter, the quarter jukebox, so the payout wasn't as high, but I did cash in all my lineups. They all got in there. I ended up, winning at the end. I put like $75 and I came back with 130.
That shows, it takes more than just being 6 for 6, right? You do need a little bit of luck.
Right, the right 6 for 6. What killed me, I needed either Bruno Silva to win or I needed Bill Alger to get that win. If one of them would have won, I would have been probably showing $100,000 checks to you guys right now because I would have took down that big.
Would you have though? Or would you be out partying somewhere or not even here?
No, I would. This is for sure. I might leave other places of employment. Yeah. but I'd be here on Sunday because I want to tell you guys how good I am. Head to head, me and Tony, we do our picks every single week. I got back on the winning side. It's our shittiest week of my life. 8-4 to 6-6 to kind of narrow the gap. Tony still is ahead overall at 119.75 with 2 draws. I, again, narrowed the gap a little bit. I'm at 113.81, again, with 2 draws. So I'm 6 behind, again, chipping away. We're about midway through the year. Got a week off to kind of regroup, get back into it. And, again, we're both picking a lot more winners than we are losers. That's the good thing.
Yeah, definitely hard to do it when you – I mean, we're starting to know all the fighters.
Right. I'm getting excited for the next card that's coming up. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of people, who the fuck is that guy?
Just seeing one person fight always isn't enough either. Even sometimes seeing them fight twice, it's never enough to really tell,
But again, I'm getting really hard on the numbers. Getting a lot of these rankings, I'm going through numbers of significant strikes per minute, absorbed, defended, takedown defense. Where is this fight going to happen again? Tony will tell you, see my spreadsheets I go through, this motherfucker is trying to it's like almost like I'm trying to count cars at a casino type deal.
Fucking Rain Man over here.
Little Rain Man over here going through the numbers. So,
and I'm like Tom Cruise trying to reel him in. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Get the fucking car.
The sports book, a little bit harder to do for me, I think, just because MMA is a tough fight sport to predict. So. Again,
it'll fucking make you money or break the bank.
You're going to have good weeks. You're going to have bad weeks. It's always know your bankroll. That's the biggest key. Stick within your bankroll. Don't chase the money, right? If you lost $20 last week, don't say I'm going to come back and win 20 this week.
Or in the same night.
Right, yeah, exactly. Because that's going to come back down, right? You're going to keep going and going. That's how. You ever been to a casino? You ever been in Las Vegas? Atlantic City? Those casinos are pretty fucking big for people chasing money. Right. So again, look at it like it's fun, right? None of us are professionals. And again, never bet nothing you can't afford to bet. Look at it as like that money's gone and not coming back. That's the way you want to look at your gambling. All right. That's my PSA for the day.
All right. Let's move into some of this week in MMA.
Not saving the drama for your mama. Right here.
A little bit of drama. George St. Pierre gets blocked from a De La Hoya boxing match.
Looks like a little Guiney there.
Yeah, good.
Little Guiney going on right there, right?
So, I mean, well, it sounds like
Looks
you
like
guys,
it, right? Little puffy
He's
dips.
always been under those accusations. I mean, he is playing who? What's his name in the Bartok? Bartok.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you guys don't think he should have been able to box De La Hoya?
No, fuck that. Come on, GSP, keep your legacy, man. Don't be fucking circusing it up with this shit.
I agree.
Come back and fight Habib.
I agree with that sentiment, but I don't agree that Dana should have been able to stop him from doing it. Like, he should be free to go.
Well, yeah, he's out of contract. I mean,
yeah, he's not fighting a UFC fight. I don't know what Dana White is.
Yeah, so, like, how is Dana able to tell him no, he's still under a
Because
UFC contract?
Miesha Tate was actually talking about this on the Food Truck Diaries.
GSP's kind of like part of the brand. In a way.
No, he's still, like, even when when she was retired and went to ONE, UFC still owned her fighting rights. Wow. So even though she was like a vice president for ONE FC, if she wanted to fight, it had to be UFC, and that's why she's back. And she stepped down from ONE FC, and she came back to UFC to fight. So Dana White still owns his fighting rights forever long. I don't know how long it is or what. It probably different from contract to contract.
So it's a no compete clause, in
basically.
A way. Yeah.
Or only for fighting though. Like, it's only for fighting. So again, it's probably different for every single fighter. A guy like George St. Pierre, he probably has a little bit more of a lockdown, but that also probably means he's probably still paying George some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're not going to allow me to fight, you got to pay me for that.
Right.
Privilege, you know? And
it doesn't seem like George St. Pierre is fighting it that hard. Right?
Well, he said he was pissed about it, I think.
See,
I don't understand that Dana didn't.
I understand.
Oh, I understand, yeah.
It would have been fun.
Right, because...
You know, he's got the itch, like he was talking about on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, he's training, he gets the itch, but, like, you know, when he's not
You know what the fight they should do is him versus Anderson Silva in an MMA fight.
Who against
George St. Pierre and Anderson, the fight we always wanted. They're both long. I don't want to see him at Khabib. He's too old to fight Khabib.
I think Silva.
Habib maul him.
I think Silva loses that fight.
I don't know.
I think so too.
George St. Pierre's been sitting on his ass for 5 years.
I mean, he came back at 185 with all those issues he was having.
And he beat
Bisbee.
He had one eye.
Huh?
Bisbee had one eye, literally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bisbee.
And Bisbee should
Silva.
And Bisbee should
with one eye, did he not?
That was a fucking shady ass decision. You want to go back to that
I don't know.
one?
Silva needing fucking like 2 seconds.
That was
a
shady ass decision. Don't get me started on that decision. They were in England too.
Well, that's why.
Yeah, the shady fucking decision. All the guys from Snatch were there in the sidelines. You better not fucking give that fight to him. And he should never fought Rockhold to get that title opportunity anyway. That fell in his lap.
It was nice to see him knock out Rockhold though.
I don't know. I feel like obviously De La Hoya is a better boxer than St. Pierre, but De La Hoya has been.
De La Hoya would fuck St. Pierre up in a boxing match.
Maybe not because De La Hoya has been partying
but St. Pierre can't
for the last
box.
10 years.
St. Pierre was never even a good MMA
St.
boxer.
Pierre's just great at mixing it all together, you know.
He was a good wrestler, a good karate guy to start, but he never was throwing hands. And then he's just wrestling. George St. Pierre was like the blueprint for the fights that I hate.
Yeah,
like
smart technical fighter.
Right. So he would get the shit beat down by De La Hoya.
Yeah.
If Jake Paul's knocking out Ben Askren, Oscar De La Hoya is knocking the fuck out.
Too much for these MMA fighters.
Jody, you're the boxing guy here. De La Hoya is fucking legit.
He is.
Even being old and coked out. He was always coked out.
Yeah,
we know about it now.
Him, you know?
We know about it now. It's just out in the open.
Goes in there with a powder bib.
I saw him. We saw him in the ring a few weeks ago, like showing his training videos. He does not look slow. He does not look old.
Yeah, I think
it's muscle memory, man.
That motherfucker's an all-time great.
Hours in, right? And
then if he actually puts in a fight camp, look at Mike Tyson. Look
how
good Tyson looked in that Roy Jones fight.
Yeah,
I have a hard time believing some of these MMA.
Roy Jones is lucky they had no headshots.
These guys are good at their craft, and there's a whole different defensive world to it when you got those 16-ounce.
And it's not a guy like that. A guy like Conor McGregor who goes in boxes or whatever. He at least throws hands. It's kind of what he does in an MMA fight. You never thought of George St. Pierre in his hands. It's just like Askren.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Now again, that two older guys who both know MMA, and a fight I always wanted to see my whole life was GSP and Anderson Silva. Why can't we make that happen, Dana, one time? Put it on an undercard.
You put on worse fights.
It's an exhibition. Like, I remember a few years ago, it was a while back now, where we had Matt Hughes, who was done, like it was washed up, but he fought was it Renzo Gracie in a fight just for like a showcase match, and just to kind of these two legends of MMA fighting each other. Strikeforce did it with Herschel Walker. Like, these guys aren't competing for a title. No, I don't want to see them in the middleweight division or the welterweight division competing no more. But let these legends fight each other. They're about the same point in their career, their life. That'd be the time to see it.
Well, let's keep rolling.
A fuck nut.
Some boxing drama.
This
Tyson
is
Fury was set to fight Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder had a clause in his contract said, Tyson, you can fight Joshua as long as you pay me $14 million to cancel our rematch.
Dosa.
Oh, so he was supposed to fight.
They had a rematch clause, right, in their match.
Shit.
And then he said, well, if you want to fight Joshua, you got to pay me $14 million.
Here's what I don't get.
There's always some shit.
It takes a lot for you to sell me on a boxing rematch. Because what are you going to do differently? You're going to box better? Like, you lost it better. In an MMA fight, you can change your game plan up. You can go, I'm going to try to wrestle more. I'm going to try to interpret this a little bit more.
Moving parts.
I can change up something. But we saw for, what was it, 20 rounds, whatever, between
they had the first one was
the
the
distance.
draw.
And then it was like 8 rounds in round.
Yeah.
The second one. For 20 rounds, who the better boxer was. There was like one moment where Wilder almost ended it. We always know he has that power.
Right.
But there's nothing we're going to learn from this fight.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that Wilder put out some
I saw those videos. Yeah, he does look sharper.
Looking good.
I mean, he's not a bum, but
Right.
I just don't. These guys have been in the ring long enough to know who's better than the other one.
I think so, but Wilder did fucking knocked him down. He was very close to winning that fucking.
But if I'm Wilder, wouldn't I want this fight after Joshua? Especially if he beats Joshua?
Maybe, or maybe he goes, I beat Fury, then I fight.
Then
Joshua.
I fight Joshua. Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think Fury beats Joshua.
I think Fury beats them both.
But that's also there's more money after Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua in that fight.
Maybe
he's the undeniable champion of the world, beating everybody, and you still got this rematch in your back pocket. Okay, let's drop this down now. Let's go ahead and do this.
Right.
That's what I think. You think Wilder beats Joshua?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. The fight I thought was going to happen was kind of bad was Ruiz. I thought Ruiz was going to get the fight with Wilder.
Yeah, well, after that Areola fight,
the best post-fight interview ever.
Ruiz didn't. It was a lot of work. That was a hard fight for Ruiz.
Yeah, but it's not like Deontay Wilder's the best technical boxer there is out there.
He'd have some big reach on him though.
Yeah. Oh, I think Wilder smashes Ruiz.
It'll be fun to watch though.
I mean, sure.
I see him hitting him in the
Ruiz gonna stand there, foot in the tire, right? The Mexican style boxing, toe to toe. Let's go at it and let's throw the fucking bombs at each other.
Be over quick, probably.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it rolling. So, Deontay Wilder and Fury have
here's the question: the over under for the weight of Deontay Wilder's walkout gear. 30 pounds.
Taxes the legs does not tax the legs.
Like, we got to check the water, right? We got to check Tyson Fury's gloves. What else was it? He scratched his eyes.
We got dry weight and curb weight.
Man.
Tyson Fury's going to come out with
a giant outfit or whatever.
Fucking Road Warrior outfit.
And I love Deontay Wilder going into this whole thing. And just own your L, bro.
Yeah,
just own it. Just own your L.
Take it.
He's got a great story. Like, he's fighting for his daughter who's like spina bifida or some shit like that. And he just started fighting to pay for his family. Like, that's an awesome story, man. It is fucking just make yourself like a shit.
But sometimes you're going to lose. That's the nature of the fucking game.
For sure. Especially when you get to the top guys.
Yeah, you can't win them all, man.
Right. All right, let's keep rolling. Looks like Jacare is
good.
And
good for him.
62.
Yeah.
Because he's the type of guy that's going to, obviously, he's going to keep fighting no matter what. He wanted to continue that fight with that broken arm.
Yeah, you got nothing.
I mean, so how long till Bellator picks him up?
I don't think they will.
I mean, he's not going anywhere.
They probably need him. Listen, I watched Bellator on Friday night.
It seems like PFL's
in
that business more so now than Bellator is. I'm gonna take your used toys.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
I think it's gonna be a while before he bounces back from this. It's
gonna be about a year.
Him and Burgos are both out indefinitely, right?
It's about a year.
Doctors.
It's about a year, but Burgos will be back before him for sure. I could see him going to again. Bellator, they have some great fighters in that promotion, but it is not a great promotion, man. I showed you that film of that heavyweight fight in the beginning, and
what was that guy doing? Ugh.
He's 40 years old, and he's just has 10 fights only. Like, what are you doing, man? You're not there. They're prelim. Like, you watch the UFC prelim, you see guys that could be title fighters one day. You watch the Bellator prelims. Now, their main card stuff, that's legit shit. You watch those fights, like Austin Vanderford and Caldwell's a great fight. Cyborg's head and shoulders above her competition. I love to see her and Harrison. I think that's the only fight to make. Again, you have like Archuleta and Pettis was a great fight. Again, they have great fighters in that promotion, but Amosov and Lima's going to be a great fight to watch. But man, sitting through a whole fucking Bellator card, man, that's fucking torture, man. That is fucking torture.
Well, we'll see what happens. Let him heal up. I'm sure he'll sign with somebody.
And I love PFL too. I'm starting to get on PFL's board.
Yeah, I like PFL.
We already mentioned, I guess, this a little bit.
Triller's dead.
Is it dead?
Triller's
Triller's
dead.
Gonna give him $1 million to let GSP fight.
Look, Triller lost their golden pony.
Right,
Jake Paul finessed Triller, got all that clout from fighting with them, getting that whatever money they gave him, and then he's signing with the big boys, and he's like, "Peace out,
Deuces.
we're fighting on Showtime, getting real money."
Money talks.
He's talking. That must mean he's talking about being a real boxer.
Yeah.
Showtime ain't gonna do that bullshit that they did with his shit, all that nonsense with robots walking with him and all that fucking weird fucking Nitro Circus meth fest that was going on with Triller.
Nitro Circus.
You would have thought, like, after De La Hoya was, commentating at the Jake Paul fight, and he was like just hammered out of his mind.
On
that
every
they'd be like,
drug, all of them.
We don't need you on a card, but instead, like, let's put him with GSP, sure. Or let's get crazy.
Well, they should have him fight Frank Mir. After all that shit he was talking. He was talking all that shit.
Why not?
He was talking all that shit about him.
I guess he was. I would
Do it.
Frank Mir will fuck him up.
Do it. I don't know.
Yeah, he is fucking gigantic.
What is it, like 280 or some shit?
Man, where was that when he went to fight Brock Lesnar? He would have fucked Brock Lesnar up with that extra weight. But man.
He would. I mean, De La Hoya would have his
bad
guard
game
up,
plan.
and Frank Mir would just
Again, we brought it up the other day with Super Punch Out, right? That's exactly what that fight would be.
All right, let's keep rolling. Diego Sanchez
Finally
terminates his relationship with
but
Joshua Fabia.
he's just terminating the professional relationship. What about the
they're still doing reach arounds.
the clandestine
They're still doing reach
relationship?
arounds.
Yeah.
Reach rounds and fucking
What haven't you terminated, bro?
upside down
Because
fucking
this seems
69s.
it seems too quiet to me. Like, why isn't there more noise behind this? If it's just professional, he's like, well, as long as I can keep, the BDSM pain room.
I think he caught Fabia texting Tony Ferguson and got pissed.
That would not at all surprise me because Tony's fucking out there.
Oh man, they did. Man, I love me.
Did you say
Tony
pain?
Ferguson.
Did you say pain?
Tony Ferguson will let him stab him. All that chasing knife, like stab me, motherfucker, go for it. That's Tony Ferguson.
You mean you have a machine that could put me in an armbar?
Right?
Look? Yes.
Jesus didn't tap. But I think eventually Ferguson would fuck Fabia up.
Yeah.
I think eventually he would just fuck him up.
I don't know. I could see Ferguson end up being something like Fabia down the road, like some kind of guru or some shit.
No, Ferguson's gonna end up in the wilderness.
Come on, I want to see Ferguson Cowboy
on A&E or AMC.
No, we
or
talked
some
about
shit.
it last week. Ferguson, Cowboy, and Diego in that triple threat match, first ever.
Mountain Men season 12.
The winner gets 100 G's and goes off into sunset. They're all done. All of them are done after the fight.
All right. What do we got next here? Come on, computer. Do we see?
It's about time.
This is the fight that's got to happen.
Should have happened, I feel like.
This should have happened probably. But if Dustin Poirier took that title fight, this fight would have already happened.
Yeah,
this can be a great
Chandler
fight.
versus Gaethje.
Yeah, this is going to be great for 15 seconds.
I mean, I kind of feel like
somebody's going out early.
I feel like Chandler might not be wrong if he comes and he beats Gaethje. He has to be talked about as a contender again, like right away. I think.
Yeah,
I don't think he beats Gaethje.
I don't think he beats Gaethje.
I don't think he beats
honestly.
Gaethje.
I think that Gaethje's going to kick his fucking leg off.
Yeah. I wonder how many fights
Mike
he has
is
on his
very,
contract.
very heavy on that front foot. Gaethje's going to have the reach advantage of him. Gaethje's going to have
Wrestling.
the rest and the rest.
Yeah.
Although the wrestling's probably going to wash.
Yeah, I think Chandler could still take him down. Probably.
They're a wash. I think the wrestling's going to be a wash. And neither one really wants to wrestle. Neither one of those guys want to go to wrestling. Gaethje said himself, that shit's tiring. I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah, it is fucking
Yeah,
tiring.
we know. We know personally how hard it is. When we're doing our fucking grappling, we do wrestling stand-up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. God
Can we just start laying down?
2-minute wrestling? No, I don't want to. Today.
Yeah, 2-minute takedown drills. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if that actually comes.
That's the one that should happen for sure. I mean, I'm here for it. Is that what the kids say? I'm here for it.
It better. I want it 5 rounds though.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not gonna need it.
That's a main event.
Yeah,
it may not be that's a fight night.
Could
main
you
event
imagine
for
it goes
sure.
5 rounds?
If we had Font and Garbrandt, this is up there with bigger than that.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Or what's the next one? Royce and Struck and Sakai.
Peter Yan and Jake Paul both have harsh. Yeah, Peter Yan's still kneeing people while they're down.
Yeah, both Peter Yan and
Yeah,
Jake
Piotr.
Paul talking shit.
That's not even a good one, though,
Him
honestly.
not being able to ride a roller
That's
coaster
what's worse,
due to-
Cody losing or him not being able to ride roller coasters due to height requirements. And what did Cody say? Roller coaster D's nuts.
Yeah.
And Jan, what was Jan saying? I don't know what else did you expected. I'm not gonna compensate all of Cody. I wish him to bounce back though, because I still want to kick his ass in the future. And don't worry, Rob. One day I will fuck you up too. I have another business to handle.
Another
now.
business. Listen, this motherfucker speaks English. Hey, fuck all the bullshit. Like, look at that. That's like he has commas and shit. He got the right punctuation. Get the
He
fuck
ain't
out of
tweeting
that.
Apostrophes.
That's Ali Abdi, whoever's manager is tweeting.
Ali's
that shit.
tweets aren't that good. You see Ali's tweets? His shits are always fucked up with shit. But fucking, that's not Google Translate either. I've tried some shit in Google Translate. It does not turn out like
What about
that.
Hey Siri? Can you do it like, hey, you know?
Yeah, no, fucking. But you still got to say it.
Yeah. Maybe it translates
Like,
for him. I don't know.
you got to actually say it. Listen,
fucking 2021.
you read Ali. Ali does his job. The best manager in the game. But he's pissed now at fucking at Jake Paul because Jake Paul came at. Is Cody one of Ali's guys?
I don't know.
Because Ali said something to Jake Paul. You came at the family or some shit like that, and now we're coming for you.
Jake Paul. Well,
But I mean, neither one. Those guys are all small as fuck.
let's see what else.
Yeah, what Peter's? They're both what? No, Cody's 5'8", he's 5'7". So, and how tall is Jake Paul?
6 foot, 5'11", something like that.
How tall is Logan?
Like
Logan's
6'2".
bigger than him,
He's
though,
like
right?
6'2", like 200 pounds. This is what I want to see.
I think it's gonna be a good fight.
It's a great
Kevin
fight.
Lee
I'm
returns
all
to
on-
styles.
I'm all on
welterweight.
Sean Brady.
UFC
Yeah, I think Brady
264
wins, yeah, but-
against Sean Brady.
I hope Brady wins. 'Cause I really want to eventually see Brady versus Usman.
Yeah.
I really want to see that eventually. And I think if Brady loses, it's going to take a lot of time. And by the time he'll get to the top, Usman will be gone.
I think it's gonna come down to gas tank, and I think Brady has the better one. And I think Brady's gonna be bigger.
And fight IQ.
And he's gonna be
Kevin
bigger.
Lee has great talent but bad
Yeah.
fight IQ. He gets himself in bad positions. He does that tattoo on his head.
Yeah, got that new tattoo.
Yeah, I don't know
Interesting.
about
It's interesting.
that.
It's a good
was
card,
that-
though. Really good
yeah,
card.
This is
I
Dustin
mean,
Poirier, McGregor, Gilbert
they are
Burns,
just feeding
Thompson.
sugar.
Yeah, you got smoke,
O'Malley.
smoke.
They
Ryan
are
Hall.
feeding.
That one I'm excited
Jessica
for. Hall and
High.
Topuria.
Greg
There's
Hardy.
against Zaga Zamulov.
Zumagov,
That's the
yeah,
name I
yeah,
couldn't think of earlier.
Yeah.
That's the name I'm talking about. He's
There it is.
Ismagulov, the guy
Yeah.
what he always wants to be.
Akhmedov and Tavares in the middle.
Greg Hardy, Bam Bam's gonna be a fun one too.
Yeah.
Someone's going to
I can
sleep.
see Hardy winning that fight. Actually.
I can't, man. Bam Bam's fucking sharp, dude.
Yeah.
Bam Bam's no
I mean,
fucking
you think
joke.
that's it for Hardy if he
You
loses?
just
Yeah.
gotta take him down.
This is gonna be Hardy's first knockout. Did he get knocked out? No, he got knocked out by Tabura.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be that was a ground and pound. This
Yeah,
is gonna
ground
be
and pound him, yeah.
this is gonna be I'm gonna get punched in the fucking face and go like walk off. It's a walk off knockoff
We're
for
gonna
Bam
get
Bam.
another shoey.
Yeah, we're gonna get a shoey for sure.
What are you guys thinking about that Gilbert Burns, Stephen Thompson?
I'm on
That is,
Tom-
I'm
on
so interested in
Thompson.
that fight to see
Yeah.
where it goes. I
I'm
mean,
on Thompson.
I-
It's 3 rounds, right?
is Gilbert gonna get him down?
I think Gilbert's
Is he
gonna
gonna
wear
try to?
himself out.
Is he
trying
gonna try to get him
him
down though?
I think
Is
he's
he
gonna
gonna
wear
try
himself
to?
out and try to get him down. I think he has to. I think
If
Thompson's
that
gonna
fight
piece him
ends up
up.
on the mat, it's over for Wonder Boy.
Yeah, I think Thompson.
Although Wonder Boy does train with the Danaher Death Squad, so he's around good, great grapplers.
Yeah, but Gilbert
And
Burns
wide-
is doing this his whole fucking goddamn life.
Yeah, but there's a man named Gordon Ryan that he works out with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think.
And you think Burns is better than Gordon Ryan?
I think Thompson wins. I like.
I think so too,
Yeah,
and
I
I
like
love Gilbert Burns, but it's a fun
I'd
fight because
say-
it's such a strange matchup.
Poirier, Thompson, O'Malley, Topuria, Maya, Rivera,
That Tapuria, Ryan Hall one.
Tavares.
I gotta look at that more.
Tuivasa, Brady.
Ryan Hall's the
Ryan
type.
Hall's so good at what
He's
he
the
does.
type of guy that beats Ilya Tavoria.
Yeah, and he bested our sensei. So our late
Jessica,
sensei.
how much is she charging to watch her fight?
Better have some booty cheeks hanging out.
Maya gets that fucking fight.
Yeah, Maya's gonna.
I'm
beat
never
her.
gonna pick Zilmagulov. Tavares, I don't know. He looks really good his last fight.
Yeah, I think he'll beat Akhmedov.
It's gonna be a close one.
Well, so
That's when I gotta
mean,
break
that's
down
just
numbers.
Gonna be,
Yeah.
I mean, this Kevin Lee fight is,
It's a fun one though.
that was
That was me.
Oh.
I'm excited for that card.
one of a great fight, even but one of the weaker ones even on the card. When you're talking Poirier,
Dude, that
Burns,
was-
O'Malley.
They better bump Jessica Maya to the opener or
And put that
Zumagulov or
fight-
Rivera down.
This fight should open the main card.
Yeah.
Well, so let's take a bet on which card gets cut. So who's getting COVID before the fucking
on this card,
yeah? Think we're all nobody's gonna drop out of this fight.
I think those first
Will
two.
COVID be done by then?
Those first two are probably invincible. They're gonna sweep that shit.
When
out
is
of
it?
the rug.
When are we out of the COVID woods? And when they're like, oh, it's all right, you got COVID, you fight.
They're gonna, maybe.
That's a thing, right?
I think everybody is in play except.
Eventually, that's gonna be a thing. There's gonna be a thing where like COVID is just a normal thing. Oh, you got your COVID this week?
Should be that now. I mean, fuck.
Oh, you want to push that fucking button today? This guy.
Hey, one of us got to it.
Hey, I'll make Chinese jokes, but damn, what the fuck?
No COVID jokes. Yeah, I think Poirier McGregor's the only one safe. They'll sweep that shit under the rug.
Yeah, maybe that's the one that.
No, there is no fucking way.
They're not
they both have
canceling
had
that shit.
COVID too.
And they're planning to open Vegas up with that motherfucking.
Look,
card?
I think Dustin had COVID their first fight.
Maybe.
When he won that fight, he was on Rogan like the next week. And he tested positive on the Rogan show for COVID.
Right.
He or tested positive for antibodies. So he's like, I didn't even know when I had it. So he, like the time frames, like it looks like he probably had it, and that was in Abu Dhabi. We're like, yeah, no, you're not gonna get COVID in Abu Dhabi.
He beat COVID and McGregor.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling with it.
Yeah, again.
We talked. Did we talk about this?
No,
at all?
not really. We kind of talked about the fight being pulled for the bets, but yeah, I was really high on Yancey for this fight. Demir's kind of a fucking big ass meathead who says stupid shit. If you wanted to fight, you should have finished me.
You shouldn't have finished me then.
But I guess somebody in Medeiros' team ended up getting COVID or whatever.
I think so. No, Hadzovic had health issues according to.
Oh, it's Hadzovic.
Maybe from the weight cut.
Yeah, who knows? Who's probably a dumb fuck. If you argue that, you shouldn't have finished me then, what the fuck?
No, boy, Connor was like, oh man, I wanted to keep fighting. He's like, well then why did you finish me?
Yeah. And he wasn't like joking. He was like serious.
Why did you submit me? Like his day was ruined. Like his life was ruined.
You're a bitch for submit.
Yeah.
I had really high on Yancey in this fight. Maybe it gets rebooked. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they've announced anything.
They're not going to prioritize making this fight again.
Yeah. Here, hold on.
It's a weird fight anyway, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about this, right?
Mackenzie Dern, Marina Rodriguez.
Let's go, Mackenzie.
Near future.
Mackenzie wins.
Who do you think wins that one?
Mackenzie Dern.
I think Mackenzie Dern wins the way I thought Watterson was going to. Right, Mackenzie Dern weathers the storm on the feet a little bit, gets it down, wears out.
I don't even think she weathers a storm. I think she comes out guns blazing.
No, that's
takes
bad.
Marina
that's
down.
That's a bad idea.
Takes Marina down.
Maybe takes her down, but I think Marina's going to come out aggressive like she does. Marina comes out hot, but she gets tired as the fight goes. I know she did a 5-rounder. She looked good in that fight.
She's about to be on her
back
foot.
But she didn't have to weight cut for that.
Yeah,
that's something we got to factor in. She didn't have to cut weight for that fight.
She's about to be on her back foot against Dern. Dern's going to come out swinging, take her down,
and then
submit her in the first round.
I would say second or third. I think the first round she wears her out. Like she survives it, she wears it out, and then
I think
the gas
Dern's future champ.
Oh, for sure. I'm picking her to win this
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
We're just arguing about when it happens. That's all we're talking about. It's going to be a submission
like
win for Mackenzie Dern.
Dern's a whole other animal since she's a mama. That's Mama Bear.
All right. Let's talk about potential GOAT of the UFC.
I don't know how much I believe this, but
do we think this is the end?
I believe this unless Jones comes down.
Yeah.
This Dana White's making a stand right now, right? John Jones is making a stand as well, and I kind of side with John Jones on this, but Dana White knows if he bends to John Jones, he's got to bend to Usman, he's got to bend to Francis, he's got to bend to all these fucking top fighters.
More fighters too.
But especially the top guys.
They're already asking bonuses, right? They're trying
so
to get them
he's got to bend to all these top guys, the Dustins, all this shit. It changes that dynamic. Now, if he says, "Motherfucker, I told John Jones no." Who are you?
Well, COVID raised inflation by 1.9% over the standard, right? I think we get 3% a year about. Well, it's 4.9%. So yeah, I mean, you pay these motherfuckers some more money.
I definitely think that.
Grubhub ain't cheap.
I wish they would get rid of the win bonus and this give you show money. If you make your weight, you get in the fight, you get the fight, you get bonuses for fight of the night, knockout of the night, whatever. If anything, split that win bonus between both fighters because they both made the weight, they both been there, and if they don't get like a performance of the night or a fight of the night, the bonus why they need extra money. You do what you're supposed to do, you know.
Well, I guess it's an incentive, right?
But I'd rather see them raise the floor than have a higher ceiling.
Yeah, kind of meet in the middle.
But yeah,
still have the performance bonuses,
right?
For incentivize them,
right? To incentivize them.
But instead of giving you 20,000 show and then a 30,000 win, just give them the
each 25,
give them like a 35,000 or 30,000 show.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
both of them.
And still have the incentive to make.
And you're not taking any more money out of your pocket either, but they're getting more money.
See, some of these guys just don't make enough money.
Especially these motherfucking judges are stealing money from people.
Yeah. Especially if you fight once a year and you get injured or something too. You know, you're making $30,000, but you're not making that because you're paying your training fees, you're flying your coaches here.
Yeah,
you're not making anything.
Raise the floor up, and again, it's a show money. You show up, you make fucking weight, you get that amount of money.
Yeah,
it's not like fucking like any other sport. Like you show up, and if you're in basketball, you don't score enough points that day, or your team sucked that day, you don't get paid less for that fucking fight or that game, you know? So it should be something where the bottom line comes higher. I think that'll make a lot more people happy because, again, there's not going to be many John Joneses out there, or there's not going to be many counters that can draw. You can talk about that with pay-per-view money. But as far as the more fighters will be affected positively with a higher floor, I think.
Concur. All right. Announcement. Paul Felder retires.
Good for him.
Bittersweet, right?
Good for him, yeah. At least he's smart enough, like he was saying, you know, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be one of those guys that's fought too long. You know, I'm right now, I don't think I can string the wins together needed to get back to the belt. Yeah, it's good. So what's the point?
Russell's Reserve. We gave you a shout out today. You know, we're all about whiskey and wagers. You know, Hollerheads fucking around. You guys want to come in and sponsor us? This is some good shit. Gave you a shot. Russell's Reserve, straight Kentucky bourbon. Let's go.
It's already got Mike slurring his words, so you know some good shit. What is it? 90 proof, yeah.
That shit put some hair in your peaches.
Mike's dick's halfway in the dirt. A few more, and that's all she wrote.
So, I mean, we're just going to see Paul Felder
commentating. Well, he does a lot with Cage Fury, too. Doesn't he, like, kind of run Cage Fury or something like that? No.
He's doing a lot. Like, I think he said he was focusing a lot on his triathlon training.
Right?
He's really enjoying
We're going to see him calling. I love him calling fights. Yeah. He's fun.
I like him and Bisbing. I like the pair.
He's right there with me with my dick kick counter. Yeah. He's all about the dick kick counter. Sad to see him go. I love Felder fights. I have not watched a Felder fight that I didn't enjoy.
Yeah. I just love his honesty about everything. Like, he's transparent as fuck.
Straightforward dude. Good to see him go out, you know, with something. That's one thing that Dana White does not get enough credit for lately, is you're seeing him putting these guys in these roles for post-fight careers. There's way more fighters being announcers. You see Alan Jouban at the desk. Yesterday was Bilal Muhammad getting up there, you know, getting their face out there a little bit more, not only just for, you know, being a fight commentator, but just their face out there. Oh, you know, that guy would be great for this kind of, you know, this brand line or that brand. He's getting his fighters a little bit more opportunities outside of the cage, getting them more exposure. Again, Dana White has plenty of flaws, but there is some good shit that he's doing for these fighters for sure as well. And again, Felder's one of his boys. He's kind of a made man in the UFC. I'm pretty sure as much as he wants to be there, Dana White's going to allow him to be there. So good for him. You know, gets out. You always want to see a guy get out like Felder.
Still healthy.
Not like Diego, right? Yeah. You don't want to see you know, my boy Tony's kind of going down that road. And my other boy Cowboy's going down that road. You'd rather see him like Felder. Still top 10, maybe not title level.
He's lost 2 in a row, and he's like, it's not for me in my mindset to have 3-4 losses in a row. I just don't want to do it.
Right. And
it's a possibility it could happen.
He walks away, no major injuries, you know, able to compete in the triathlon afterwards. So good for Paul. Yeah. It seems like a good dude, too. Obviously, we don't watch something come out where he's like raping fucking puppies or something. Come on,
knock on wood.
But I'm going to say he's a good dude, you know, on, you know, May 24th, 2020, whatever the fuck the date is.
And finally,
doesn't matter.
Let's see what else is going on here.
Yes.
What you've all been waiting for.
The fight of the fucking year. The most hyped MMA fight. My man, Hasbullah Magomedov. A name like Magomedov, you know that motherfucker can go.
Abdurazio
stands
a singer from Tajikistan,
3 inches tall.
My 3-year-old son's that tall.
What did they weigh in at? 20 kgs, 40 pounds each, I think.
What was it? 20 or like 30?
I don't know. They're like one of your legs.
Right,
they're
17 kilograms.
So they're like 30 pounds.
They're 35 pounds.
Yeah, that's what it was. I know it was like 30. But my 3-year-old's bigger than these guys. My 3-year-old's bigger than both these guys. They're 17 and 18 years old.
Yeah.
I
had no idea. I've seen this circulating, and I thought they were children. For real, I thought they were like 6 to 8 years old or whatever. See, I had no idea they were.
They're little people.
Little people.
They're lollipop children. The lollipop guild.
You think I'm getting us canceled?
Hey, you gotta respect anybody. You know, they made it that throughout their life, dodging flying monkeys to make it to this fucking.
These two motherfuckers are gonna come over here and kick your ass.
Hey, you
You
see
know
that
what?
Thai plum that Hasbulla had? He went straight to it.
Hasbulla's got some
Mini
technique, man.
Kudalaba. I want to see Kudalaba corner Hasbulla.
I think Hasbulla got famous over here from that viral video where he left hooked one of these guys and started running the foam between dudes' legs.
Yeah, he's got some hands. He's got some skill.
Got some zing on those punches.
Apparently, this all started over social media beef. Abdul called him phony.
Well, it's all about followers too, right?
Yeah, who got the more followers? Who's more
Yeah.
interesting? So
Yeah.
the fact that it started on social media and then now apparently I got kind of bummed. It said the fight has taken place already.
Yeah,
and they just
but
haven't released the video.
They're trying to. It's not ethical.
Why not?
Yeah, like if we're grown,
Especially if they're 18 years old.
Yeah, they're adults. They want to fight.
And where? I don't know what country. Is this in Russia?
I don't know.
I know he's Dagestani.
But that's kind of what the beef was about, though, right? Is like one dude said Hasbulla only has
Tajikistan.
he only has the followers because there's like so many millions of people in Russia and there's only 10 million in Tajikistan.
Yeah, that's what
that's the only reason you have more followers. He's like, no, it's because I bet better content.
Wait, go back up. He's a singer too?
Yeah, he's a singer. He's 17.
I mean, he probably has a beautiful voice. He probably hits those fucking falsettos like nothing.
Yeah.
And then here's Mini Habib.
Hands the size of strawberries.
Oh man.
I'm all in for it. Wherever this tape is, I want to. I
gotta see it.
When I was a child, I was able to get my hands on Faces of Death. So if I can get my hands on that tape, I know I can get my hands on this
you
one.
remember Rotten.com?
Rotten.com, all that shit.
You can see whatever you wanted on there.
Look at that face. Dude, look at that fuck. Can we zoom in on that face right there? There's no bullshit right there. He's playing no games, Hasbulla. Eye to eye. It's eye contact going to kick you right in the shit.
They both have
then they started
the
arguing.
AirPods in.
They were arguing about who's the better Muslim.
Yeah.
So Hasbulla cusses.
Hey.
He's like, yeah, I cuss. Everybody else. And then the other one does ads for sports betting. Which you can't do either of these things in Islamic, religion.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Peter Yan back the fight.
Yeah. I'm in for a trilogy.
Darren will express his willingness to pay money for the confrontation. Yeah.
Like I asked where do I watch this? Nobody responded to me.
Yeah.
Most hype of the year.
I don't know. I consider myself disabled. My parents do, and doctors
It
do.
is only my height that is not increasing. That is all. When I walk fast, I get tired. Other 18-year-old children are sitting at home and write that I am retarded. What? He said they sit at home and want to earn something but fail, so they envy him.
They said
Rosa said, please, God, I have legs, arms, and my brain.
Praise
I'm making
God.
money. I send it home to my family every month. I'm building a house and a restaurant in Tajikistan. Thanks, Allah. I do not consider myself disabled.
Wait. I love it. I love it that people call me retarded. Fuck you,
Could
basically.
be the shortest fight in history.
That's good, Burmo. Dwarves have got to make a living.
Cruelty. See, this is the problem with people. Look at that one comment. Cruelty. You want to talk about equal rights?
These guys are about to make a lot of money.
All this shit about not, looking down on people. But the fact that they want to fight just like two fully grown fucking teenagers would fight. If they were 6 foot tall, nobody would say it's cruelty, right? They won't give a fuck. But the fact that they're small. So who's being discriminatory?
Tyson was heavyweight champion of the world.
You snuck in a nice pun there. I don't even think you realize it.
Who's discriminating? What did I say?
Looking down on them.
Yes, that was totally off the cuff and
It's like, damn.
a little bit of that Russell's Reserve coming in a little bit there. But listen, these guys, why shouldn't they get the opportunity? How much money they'll fucking make off this goddamn fight? Why don't they deserve to do it?
Listen, this is about to be a trilogy.
Let's do it. I will buy all of them.
I would too.
I wouldn't even stream it. I'd pay for that one.
I'll get on a flight to Dagestan.
Man.
Peter Dinklage is gonna come out.
Yeah, it'll be the walk out with one of them and shit.
Tyrion.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You'll make the ramp a yellow brick road. All that shit.
Might as well call Gary Coleman too. Make it interesting.
Oh, he's dead, man.
Yeah, well, there's zombies.
Emmanuel Lewis might still be alive.
Maybe. All right, guys. Well,
fucking we made it.
We'll break that fight down when it happens.
Look at this thing. There's no fucks given by Hasbulla.
Oh, I like when they butt heads.
I like the guy in the middle with his.
Well, he's supposedly like a fucking big social media
so
mogul
funny
himself.
Watching him like hold them back.
He's just laughing the whole
and then
time.
He gets Hasbulla to sit on his lap.
Yeah, they're so pissed. Hey, how do you get a grown man to sit on your lap, right?
Grown man. That's a stretch. Okay, where's this fucked up?
Oh, man.
All right,
Wait,
guys.
if you lay even a finger on me right now, they'll take your corpse away. Yes, you can't fake that heat.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
I'm in. I'm in. Where's the tape? Show me the tape.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. Why is it cruelty?
Right. No, it's not cruelty at all.
It's not like
cruelty to look down on
Well,
them.
it'd be cruelty to be like one average-sized person fighting the other.
Yeah, exactly. They have a regular 18-year-old kid fighting this guy.
I'd say they're pretty evenly matched.
No, fuck yeah. No, cruelty would not be allowed to fight. Like, oh, you're too short to fight. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, you guys.
You're disabled.
You guys
can't
are being
fight.
cruel. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's go. Give them opportunities.
Equal rights.
All right, guys. Well, we'll be back next week, and we will be breaking down. What's the next fight that's coming up?
We got Rosenstruck versus Sakai. Looked like
Sakai.
a really great.
I thought it was Gon.
No, Sakai.
Sakai.
They already fought. Beat Gon.
They already fought.
Yeah, Sakai. Gon's fighting Volkov.
Gon beat Rosenstruck. Yeah.
Gon's about to fight Volkov.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's supposed to be. It looks like a really good card. We already lost a few fights, so we're gonna give it a week, let it play out. There's no card next week, so again, next week's show will kind of focus on that a little bit more because we'll see who's actually gonna be fighting in it.
I think Felipe is fighting Collier.
Yes, I think I did see that.
Who it is. Just came to me.
So yeah, so we'll talk about that card a little bit more next week. Really not much to talk about weekend. We'll be on Twitter. Any questions you guys got for us? We'll try to find the Hezbollah tape if we can. Remember, In the Guard at In the Guard 1 on Twitter, at In the Guard on Instagram, YouTube In the Guard. We don't have the URL yet, but if you like, follow, subscribe, all that shit, we'll start getting that YouTube URL to give to you guys. InTheGuardPodcast.com, where you can find everything that we do, links to all their social media and all that good stuff. Again, hit us up with questions, right? Stuff you want to see us talk about on the show. We're down to answer fan questions for sure.
See you in a week.
Next week.